What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. Hey YouTube, thanks for checking out RV Daydream, and I'm inside because it's raining outside. Kind of the Ohio thing. So what I'm going to try to do today is catch up a little bit more on my website, and quite honestly, it's kind of a handful. Now, we had some storms that came through last night, so with those storms came a lot of damp weather, or damp ground, I should say, and I'm not doing anything outside today, even though there's a lot of stuff to do. So this is a perfect day to catch up with some of my website, and I wanted to show you guys some of the stuff that you got to do whenever you're using HostGator and their web builder. It's not a difficult system to learn, and there's a lot of stuff you can do, but it is still a lot of work whenever you had a website. Like in our case, RV Daydream had a website that I built a few years back, and it was pretty simple. It wasn't a complicated site, and there wasn't a lot of features to it, and I needed to upgrade. So we went ahead and paid a web designer through HostGator, the web services that they had, to upgrade or build the site for us. The bad part about it was when HostGator migrated our website over, they lost all of our archives of our blog that we started back, I think it was about 2014, or maybe it was 15, early 2015. So all those blogs are out there in the web space, inner space, intra-web space. It's just out there. And I could probably drag and get some of that, and I might, but really what I want to do is try to get this site as full as possible with content. So anybody that visits our site will actually have something to look at. Now, the only thing that we've got done so far is our landing page is pretty much straightened out to where we want it, and our products that we use page, even though I need to make additions to it, it's pretty well laid out. So I need to go in and fill in all the other spaces. So let me show you what that looks like. All right, so hopefully you can see this. Of course, this is just my page, and I'm sure you're going to hear my mouse clicking and moving around and stuff because the microphone's relatively close to it. But basically, if I go into Chrome and then go into HostGator, you can see my email, my password there. This is the portal, and then once that loads up, it's going to take me to a choice where I can edit my website, which I'm going to do that now. And HostGator overall is pretty decent. I had iPage before; they were okay. This one's not so bad. It's not bad at all. So this is the website builder that we're into, and you can see this looks relatively like what you would see if you landed on our page. Now, the link to our website, you can find it in our videos. It's in more than one spot, but this is what happens when you land on it. Now, I'm in the builder, so it's going to look a little bit different. And again, I've already pretty much done this home page. We've got everything that we want there. There might be some changes to a few things. This interactive map, that was kind of difficult to get in there because they didn't tell us exactly how that was to be done. There is a way to do it through their design, through their elements. They have a thing that is called Google Map, I believe it is. It's down here somewhere. I'm not sure where it is, to tell you the truth. I can't seem to find it now. But anyways, you can click on that and put it on your page. Right here. Well, I should have looked. Maps. There you go. Google Map. And you could just click it, and then once you click it, you can put it where you want. But the problem is you couldn't modify it very well. The one that I have in here is embedded from Google Maps, My Maps, and what we can do is we can actually plot a course, plot a route, and show where we're at along the way. That's what we're hoping to do here, so you can see where we're at. Of course, here's our hot links, Patreon. We'll see how that works out. I'm just posting videos there like I do YouTube. We'll see if that works into anything. Then our village, a good place to check in, whatever. I'm not going to go through all this stuff just so you guys don't get bored. Of course, Facebook and YouTube, but hot links, this is basically the main page. And you can see up here there's a few different pages, which that may be added to or subtracted from. So what we're going to do is we're going to modify a different page. We'll go look at the products we use. This is the main thing that I wanted to do as far as the products we use, is get all these products up here and links for videos So you can go check out the videos that I've posted before. You know, there's people that don't necessarily want to go right to YouTube. They might be wanting to read about it a little bit. So there is some verbiage in here, but for the most part, it's what I've already posted on YouTube. And it just lets people have another avenue to get to my Amazon affiliate links. So they can buy these products for themselves. They can see how I install it, my review on it. Quite a few things there. So back to what I want to modify, and we're going to go to the About page. We haven't really done much here. Heidi's changed some photos for us. I'm trying to get her integrated and changing things and learning how to change things. She did real well. She changed both these photos. She changed the background. She changed the picture background on the overall page. And then she changed the color of the lettering because it was a little bit difficult to see. So I'm glad that she jumped into that. So now I've got to go in here and I've got to modify a lot of things. There are more pages that are involved here than what you see, and what we need to do is add some more stuff. Now the problem is I have to basically recreate what I already had on my other website, because I did like the way the layout of the other website was overall, but it takes a little bit. I mean, this is a section. You can see that there's 5 tabs. It's up here in this corner that I'm moving around. I don't know if you can see that. Let me see if I can make my cursor see the circle there. The tabs then is what will change whenever you click one of these buttons. Of course, you can't click the buttons when you're building the website, because it's not going to get you anywhere. But yeah, these tabs, you can see this is our story basically, and they don't have them in any order. Whenever they build it, they just wanted to get the basic layout done, and then they were showing us how to do it. Well, I could pretty much figure this stuff out on my own. So once they got the basic layout, I went in there and I looked, and it's like, this is nice. I like the way it looks. We made some changes, but now it's time for me to go in there and make all these changes myself. To where I can reorder this. You can see I can bring it forward, I can send it back. Basically, again, up in here, that changes the order in which these are, but I have to do a lot of stuff as far as modifying it, and putting more tabs in here and putting them in the correct order and actually adding to it, because this stuff is old. This is old information. So you can kind of see what's involved as far as design. You can change your colors, your backgrounds, everything else. Now, if I change anything here, this is the toughest part of web building. You got to make sure you click on the correct thing. Like right now, if I do any modifications to anything here, change the style, the size and the position, add animations, whatever, if I do any of that, it's to the section, because that's what I've got highlighted. Well, you don't want to change the section if you're wanting to change the image. So you got to make sure that you click on what you want to change before you change it. So now you can see that I've clicked on this image, and it's going to let me change the image, put something else there, do something else with it. That's why this bar comes up. And there's a lot of choices there. If I go to change image, which I don't really want to, it's going to give you some preloaded stuff, which is kind of nice. Or you can go to your own personal stuff that you've added, and you can choose from that, or you can upload, or you can put links to images if you've got a site that you want to take it to. For example, we have a Photo Bucket account, or our Amazon Prime photos. If we want to be something that's up to date, maybe this picture is something that's going to be constantly upgraded, it's something that you can do. It's just options, and that's the whole thing. There's so many options. Now, if you want to change the words, of course, you're not going to click there. You need to click down here, and then again, here's the bar pops up, and this is for the verbiage. So you can change that. You can change whatever you want on it. The background color, the color of the text. You can change the text itself. You can add animation to the text. There's a lot of things you can do. So again, the toughest part is just making sure that you're clicked on the correct thing. It's a little bit of a handful. And then of our blog, of course, see how it's a habit. I click that blog instead of the pages. The blog is what we need to update on a regular basis, and Right now I've got the section highlighted. Looks like I need to change this background picture. I don't really care for that. This is the last time that anything was added to it, was back March 8th. The web designer threw this up here just so I could see what it looks like, and then I could duplicate this, which is really nice with this website builder. If I wanted to, I can duplicate this whole thing, this section, I guess you can say, or this blog, the way it's set up. So all you got to do is copy it and paste it, copy it and paste it, and then fill it with the information that you want, as long as you want it to look exactly the same. So you can see that there, again, so many choices about all this stuff. Every single page you have all these elements that you can add, and there's so many different elements, and each element adds its own group of modifications. So lots to be involved with there. I don't know if I necessarily want to really jump into any of this today, but I'm going to have to. I got to sit down here. I got to get a game plan together, and what I do is I have a couple of screens. Let me move you real quick here. And there's my other screen. And what I do is I usually, as you can see this disaster going on here, I'll load this page up with files that I want to draw from, just to make it easy, just the desktop. That maybe they're buried somewhere, maybe they're in a hard drive. Like in my case, I have 2 hard drives. Again, I'm moving you guys around. I got that portable hard drive I take with when we're camping, and then I've got this desktop. You know, it's a couple of 4 terabytes in there, so 8 terabytes worth of storage that I store videos that are already done. But for the most part, that portable hard drive is what I use. Now, as far as movie editing, since I talked about that briefly, let's go ahead and show you what's involved with that. So we'll go ahead and get out of here. Yeah, we're just leaving. We didn't change anything. And I use Cyberlink Power Director. Now, if you guys have a decent video editing setup, make sure that whatever software you open, you right-click it, and then you run with the graphic processor that's the fastest for you. Like in my case, I want to run with this high-performance NVIDIA processor instead of the factory integrated graphics processor. Now, there's a way to change the default on this, and again, I don't know if you can see what I'm talking about. I don't know how well it's coming up on camera, but as far as the default one is not bad. It's just I know that this one's a little bit faster. So once you open that up, this is the page that I look at all the time. I'm always on this page. Now, as far as importing, you can click you know, a file somewhere else on the desktop. That's why I have the 2 screens here. Then just drag it over and drop it. But in this case, I want to import some media files. Of course, this is our intros, so I'll go ahead and copy those, and we'll drag those over. Or actually, I don't need to now that I've clicked on them. And then I want to do a folder. We'll go ahead and pick a new spot. This is off my portable hard drive, and there we go. I keep on forgetting where I put this stuff. That's the worst part about it. Can you imagine if I wasn't organized at all? So basically, once you have files in here, like here being my intro, we'd stick my intro in there. You can play the intro so you can see what it looks like. And I can cut that down, which sometimes I do. And I probably will for this video, and I don't know, it does a good job. If you screw up, you know, you got a back button just like anything else, and then you can add the video that you want to go in. Now, if you want it to fade into the section that you're coming out of, you just click, you just drop it over, and then you hit crossfade, and now you can see it'll go from our intro to the storm, the actual storm, kind of in a fade type thing. You'll see. See how I kind of faded over? Now, if you want that fade to be longer, not a big deal. You just drag it a little bit more, make the crossfade more. So let's see what happens now. See, pretty easy. And if I want to cut some of this out, again, all you do is stop it where you want to cut it out. There's a bar here. You just hit that, and then let the video play to where you want it to cut back in at. Let's say we want it to cut back in about here. And then we do that. Now this section's highlighted. You just right click it, you remove it, and it's asking if you want to leave the gap, fill the gap, or remove and fill the gap and move all the clips, which I usually do. And now that clip has changed. Now you're not going to notice much except a car may disappear. Yeah, see, there was a car driving up the street and it just disappeared. It was magic, but I already have this kind of cut down to where I want it to some extent. And then as far as adding other stuff, I mean, there's so many things that you can do. If I want to add some sort of a photo, which we'll go ahead and put a couple of these photos in just so we have reference. This is outside my brother's apartment where he used to live down in West Virginia. Maybe I want to have these photos overlay whenever we get to a certain spot. Easy to do. You can fade these in. You can make it replace the image altogether. Of course, the audio, you can split the audio. It's a real good editing software, image capture device. This is the CyberLink Power Director 15 Ultra, and I've used CyberLink products for a long time, starting all the way back. I think I started with number 10, if I'm not mistaken, Power Director 10. No, it was actually Power Director 8, I think. And I've just gone up year after year. Every time they come up with an upgrade, it's a good idea because there's a lot of features in here. And I will be the first to tell you that you're really overwhelmed at first, but after doing it for years, you become really fluid in it to where you can move a lot faster. And there's so many things you can do as far as with the images. Like in this case, we'll go ahead and make this image smaller. Maybe we'll put this up in the corner. Just choose what corner you want it to go to. You can make it fade in whenever you're talking about it just by clicking a couple boxes. So then whenever it plays, it looks like this. See how it faded in, and then it'll fade out. So it's not abrupt thing. We'll go ahead and cancel all that stuff. Then you have stuff like we do with this little van. You see that a lot. Not a big deal to make this look a little bit different. I usually make it run across the bottom of the screen. You click on that and hit it here. We'll do this really quick so I'm not tying you guys up with boring stuff that doesn't really pertain to you, but had some people that was interested in how I do editing and what's it look like. And this is pretty much it. I mean, this is all you do all day. You sit and you fiddle around with this stuff. We can do all kinds of crazy things with this. Let's go ahead and do this one. And what I'll do is I'll try to make sure that it lands in the right spot. Looks like it's a little low, so we'll go ahead and do that. Let's go back and see what we can do. Looks like it goes out of frame, so I'll bring this down, keep it in frame, and then we'll look at it again. Let's see. It comes in, and boom. So let's see what happens. We'll go ahead and OK it, and then this is what it'll look like. Play. See, pretty straightforward. Not bad. It's interesting. I mean, all this stuff, like I said, once you get used to it, it's not a big deal. So that's essentially it. The worst part about moving from a job that I had, hands-on in the garage, working on stuff and standing and being active and moving, is what I'm doing here is just sitting. I've got some footrest underneath my desk. I use Heidi's computer chair, which her desk is just over there, as a footrest also, so I can sit back in the chair and I'll prop my feet up. Being a little bit lazy, but more than that, I don't want my legs to swell up or get sore or anything. And even sitting in these computer chairs, this is a cheap computer chair I bought up at Staples. It was like $60, $70. It's just not comfortable. So you've got to give yourself breaks. If you don't give yourself breaks, you're going to definitely have health issues. And even if you don't, there's a growing group of people that are web designers, web developers, bloggers, photographers. The good thing about photography is you get out and you get to move around, but you spend a lot of time also sitting, getting your pictures organized, posted, identified, whatever, changed, tweaked. There's a lot of things that need to be done. Well, it's the same with the videos. I get to go out, we get to shoot videos. I love doing the video shooting and moving around and all that, but then I know that as long as the video is, whenever I'm out doing it, shooting it, it's going to require me to sit down probably twice as long as the video is, as far as the amount of capture time that I have to edit it down. And I didn't show you every feature that the editing software has and what you can do. And then you still have the whole process of producing the video, which is nothing more than making sure you have the right settings on everything, clicking a button, and then waiting anywhere from 30 minutes to 2-3 hours for it to produce. Usually it's pretty short. I don't get into real long ones that produce, lengthy times. And then after that, you get the pleasure of sending it to YouTube to post. And depending on the video, it could be anywhere from 45 minutes to 3 hours for it to post, especially the longer ones. And I shoot in 1080 60 frames per second, so there's a lot of megabit there. There's a lot of content that goes over, and of course YouTube compresses a lot of that down, but I want to have a really good quality picture going to them so they can capture something decent, and when they compress it, it doesn't look as bad. That takes a lot of time also. That's really what's involved with shooting videos and putting them up on YouTube. As far as generating income from all this, you're going to get some sort of money at some point down the road if you post a lot of videos and you get a lot of viewers. But it all depends, as I mentioned in a previous video, which I'll put a link up above here somewhere. I'm not sure which side it'd be at, but I'll put a link up above, and you can click on that and see what I've talked about before, the different types of posting. And it's funny because that video that I did, I used RV Geeks and Chris and G Travels as an example, and you can see that Chris and G, changed their channel, and the format that they went to actually leans towards the RV Geeks type videos now, because everything that they do and shoot as far as a tour of a tiny home, it's always going to be relevant. As long as people are interested in tiny homes, they're always going to have new viewers coming to that channel looking at that stuff. And that's what I see here. Even though I love our channel and shooting for our channel, and I'm talking about RV Daydream, the one you guys are watching now, I love that channel. And I love this channel, and I love doing the videos for it because it's not work. It's what's happening, what I'm doing, and I'm just showing you what's happening as far as overall, us and our whole process. The editing part is difficult and takes some time, but if I'm doing those other videos on reviews, it's all about content. I've got to get the product placed correctly. I have to take pictures of the product. I have to make sure that you stay engaged during the entire video as I talk about this product. I have to point out features of the product. I have to research the product. I have to buy the product. I have to use the product. All those things can be fun sometimes, but a lot of times, if I'm talking about this remote for the camera, there's only so much that can be talked about, and there's, only so much interest. It's basically a remote that turns on and off my camera. That's all it does. But as far as the posting of the video, then you got to make sure your links are correct. You got to make sure you've got a good verbiage in there that explains it for the people that like to read, and the overall capture and processing of that video is more difficult. Same with my repair channel. If I'm doing a repair, that's work. So even though I like to repair stuff, shooting a video of it just makes it that much longer for me to do the repair. I mean, you got to imagine that not only do I have to take the tire off my vehicle to do the brakes, but I have to make sure I got a camera there and that you can hear me and that the lighting is good, and I've got the tire off and you've seen how the tire comes off, and now that I'm on the brakes, I got to move the camera, I got to show you everything, and I've got to make sure that you can hear me as I speak. And of course the lighting's always involved. And then as I remove bolts, not only do I have to go find the wrench that fits the bolts, but then I got to tell you what wrench it is and how I loosened it and show you how I loosened it. All that takes time versus me just doing the repair. But those two channels that I just complained about extensively will always get me more views per video than this channel ever will. And it would get me more subscribers per video than this channel ever will. Just to give you an idea, I think I have 8,000, almost 9,000 subscribers on my repair channel, and I hardly do any videos on that one. I have less than half the videos on that channel as I do this channel we're watching now. yet it generates about 4 times the income. And the same with the product video, the one that I do reviews on products. That one generates a decent amount of income, I guess you can say, for the most part. It generates about half of the income that this channel does, but it only has like, I don't know, maybe 80, 90 videos on it, where this one has 230 videos on it, I believe. So you can see I have almost 3 times as many videos on this channel, yet the money that's revenue that's being generated from this channel is only about half as much more than that other one that has much less videos to it. And it's because it's relevancy. I mean, those things, as long as those products are still relevant, people are always going to go look at them. They're always going to check in and watch that video. That's just what I wanted to show you. Just what's been going on. This storm will show up in a later video that I do, I'm sure, whenever we talk about a greater update. And we'll maybe just put it as a little background on something at some point. Maybe I won't even bother referencing it. We'll just use it for green screen. That's a whole nother technique of shooting here. All right, guys, that's it, definitely. And as always, I hope to see you guys out there. Bye.